Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Devil's Advocate Trades Edition. I got big hair today, right, Michael?
Yeah, little. What is that called? Baba babushka, a big bouffant.
Listen, I had to change outfits.
You're about halfway to Marge Simpson.
God's sakes. Okay, we said that we would talk about data centers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to play con, you're going to play pro.
Sure.
Okay, so I did hear about a data center that they want to start moving. They want to break ground on here in Alberta. And so there's been a lot of uproar from the general public about it. And so when I went and did I'd seen a few things because when things, and well, I mean, this is how it all works, right? It's like everything is listening, right? So when I was on the phone with a friend of mine talking about this, and then a few things came across my feed and I liked, then I started seeing some of the downfalls of why certain states in the US have now banned any type of data center and some of the things that are going on, talking about high water usage and this and that, right? So
Yep.
it talks about massive energy consumption, heavy water usage for cooling, and rising local electricity bills. So, from environmental and resource impact, we'll start there, and then we'll move into community and economic effects. So, I will put the con out. So, the con for me is that it's a high energy usage. So, huge electricity demand strains local power grids and may delay the transition to clean energy. Water consumption, millions of gallons of water are used daily to keep powerful computer servers cool. Pollution and heat. Facilities produce loud, non-stopping humming sounds, releasing local heat and emit exhaust from emergency diesel generators. So those are some of them. So that's just the environmental and resource impact. So Michael, let's hear you kind of rebut or refute why those might not be a bad thing, or what some of the ideas could be in order
Can
to
you say the first line again?
High energy usage, huge electrical demand strains local power grids, can delay the transition to clean energy.
Okay, I'd have to ask what that means to clean energy, because we were already looking at changing every single vehicle over to electrical. So if we don't do that, then there should be the infrastructure, you would think.
Great. We don't have it right now.
I know, but if the plan was to do that, then the infrastructure, instead of going to vehicles, can go to AI data centers. It's clean energy, right? Because then you're not going to have to burn stuff. You're not going to have to burn fuels for data centers. You could just use electricity because it's better, right? I mean, that's what they tell you. It's not, because you still have to make the electricity, but
yeah. So it talks about a global shift from fossil fuels to renewable sources like wind, solar, hydropower. So that's the water coming in, right, to low carbon emissions. So it talks about when we talk about the transition to clean energy.
Yep.
Hang on, I know that there is a storage system, raw materials, and those are the two things that I'm seeing right now. So let's see. So transition, let's see. So I think that's what they're talking about when they say power grids and can delay the transition to clean energy. So when you're moving into, right now, it's creating a high electrical demand, and we should technically, I mean, if they did a whole field of fucking solar panels, I mean, they bought the land, that's clean energy to me. Right? And then
why are they building so far south in Alberta? Like, it's in Sturgeon County is where they're looking. Why in Sturgeon County?
I don't know. Maybe because they got enough conservatives to sell their land.
Why not farther north? Why not further away from a major urban center?
It's a great question. I don't know.
I mean, I know I'm supposed to be pro, but I'm pro with caveats, right? I mean, obviously, I don't think it should be like Ohio, where they just build it in their backyard, and you're like, what the hell? Right? Because there's Sturgeon County is one. There's Rocky View County, north of Calgary.
Yeah, I'm in Rocky View County.
Right, Wonder Valley.
Rocky View County is huge. Rocky View County is huge, if we're going to be honest.
Right, there's one 42 kilometers south of Grand Prairie in Wonder Valley. East Gibbon, Sturgeon County, that's proposed. Bit Deer, Fox Creek. So most of it looks to be in Alberta, one in British Columbia, which is Talus. Quebec is actually under construction. So in Levy, I don't even know how you say that. I don't speak French. Ontario there's an expansion underway. New Brunswick. So not a lot compared to the United States, but something I was looking into. So, I mean, power, okay. I mean, who knows? Who knows? Because, I mean, like, if we were going to do electric for all these cars, then you should figure we should have the necessary infrastructure for power to handle it for data centers. Now, the question is, because there's a lot of people who don't want to get electric cars. So that would now give some more affordability of time to figure out the power situation to make that better. But there's also things like water. Okay, why are they using potable water? Why aren't they using closed loop systems? Right? Redesign your HVAC.
Okay.
You switch to cogen, trigen, which is stuff that really does work, and it actually would create electricity as well.
Okay.
Right? So there's other ways to do it. Colder climates. So let's think of, for example, so we talk about water. If you did it in a closed loop system, say, for example, you're really far north, right? You go down in an aquifer, you do a closed loop system, like a geothermal closed loop system. So with some sort of antifreeze inside of it, you go down, you get the really, really cold water, you come up, you use it. You can either go back down in the ground, but then you're going to be heating up the ground. But just lay a loop. I mean, you've got these huge fields around these data centers. Lay a loop on the ground because cold air already, start to acclimate that in the atmosphere, then bring it back down to the ground so you're not overheating the core ground.
So you're talking about like a research system?
A total research system. Yep.
Okay.
Right? I mean, everything's about heat pumping, right? Everybody knows the term heat pump. It's pushing heat one way, creates cold on the other side. Your fridge is a heat pump. A lot of people don't know that. Your fridge is a heat pump.
I know.
You're pumping the hot air out of the fridge into the coil on the back of your fridge.
Mine's loud.
Do what?
Mine's loud.
It's loud?
Yeah.
Probably just an old compressor.
No, because it's a new fucking fridge. And it was quiet, and now it's loud. And I've had the people come out and look at it like a few times, and they're like, I find it. And
sometimes it can just be like the coil on the back of the fridge has a loose screw on it. So just tightening that screw is just a vibration. So you got to figure out whether or not it's mechanical noise or vibration noise.
I'll call the significant.
So, don't know.
That's a blue job.
And what was that? What was the last one? So water, you don't have to use water. I don't know why they're being afforded to use water. Like potable water.
Right.
Doesn't make any sense. Especially when you're close to a major urban center. We're actually going to be taking that water, or where farming is happening. Go north enough that there's not that much farming. Right? Go to more rocky areas.
Which really upsets me because Alberta has a lot of ag.
Mm-hmm.
Like it does. Like there's tons of ranches out here. We've got wheat fields. We've got canola fields. We've got, you know what I mean? Like there's so much agriculture out here. And I'm just like, I'm sure the farmers are thrilled.
Like, I mean, we've got the land space. We do have the fresh water in Canada. That's, I mean, 98% of the population like lives below the US borderline, right? Like it's that crazy. Right. So like we don't really have to worry about that so much. But you can also use salt water. Right? Meta already does this in Finland. They can use salt water. So you can go far enough north. You can go to the Hudson Bay. You can go to James Bay. Right? Apparently there's a plan to put a dam across James Bay and Hudson Bay. I don't know, dam or a bridge or something. That'd be interesting. A massive project. But there's not a lack of cold water.
Well, we don't want there to ever be a lack of cold water. And then there has to be consulting. We still have indigenous land. Like there still has to be consulting into that. It's no different than putting a pipeline in. Same shit.
You go in an area and there's nobody living there, use it. There's lots of land where there's nobody. I don't care. Somebody says, you know what, 500 years ago, we used that property. Again, this is just my opinion. 500 years ago, we used it in a migratory. Don't care. No one's living there. No one's using it. We're going to use it.
So let me ask you a question. If you had a great big plot of land that you weren't using and someone just decided to throw all their fucking cattle on it or their goats on it and said, well, we're just going to use it because it's not being used, are you going to be cool with that?
The government expropriates land all the time for railways, highways, all the time. They do it with everybody else. Why don't they do it with indigenous? It's got to be a bigger fight. No, just literally, if no one is using it whatsoever, like it's not fenced, it's not maintained, it's not anything, there's no one living there. It hasn't been for like 100 years. There's lots of places in Canada like that.
I disagree. I think that they still have to consult with indigenous. It's their land.
Why?
Because it's their land, period.
Is it?
There was a time when the land wasn't fucking riddled with all kinds of buildings and bullshit. It was a
Right?
much simpler time. And you talk
Was
about
it?
the simpler times. So why am I going to take that away from them? I wouldn't take
Wait,
anything more.
Was it a simpler time? Food was readily available. Your hot water was readily available. Homes were readily available. The ability to transport was readily available. Was it simpler times? Was it
It
easier
was
times?
for them. They
Was
could
it?
make hot water. They understood what fire was. They went hunting. They had berry pickers. They did all that. All of us on some level had to be able to survive. So we all did what we needed to do in order to survive, depending on where you were in the world. And they
I
did
think
what they
people
needed to. So
living
yes, it
now.
was a simpler time where people didn't just come and then tell you how to fucking run your world and your land. And why would I come in and do that all over again? I don't want to be part of that. No fucking way. I'd be standing on the side with them being like, yeah,
That's
the
true.
fuck you
That's
mean
true.
you gonna take my shit again?
That's true. You know what? Then give them the land back, take the power lines, take the cars, delete the roads, get rid of all that stuff. I'm sure they'll be happy.
Well, then you got to do it to the whole thing, which means that all of
Right.
us need to either
Right.
adapt or get the fuck out.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. So if nobody's using it, adapt or get the fuck out. I agree.
I'm not against it. I
Right.
live in a teepee. I'll
Listen,
do sweats. I don't give a
You
fuck.
can consult and still say, too bad, we're doing it anyway.
My point is that you have to let the person at the table be at the table. That's runs the
Sure.
land. You can't just be like, listen, it's not being used anyway. That's like the most arrogant fucking thing you can say. To me, it's like, hey, this is a plot of land. Right now, we don't see anything occupying it. Can you let us know if there's a sacred portion of it, if it's something we can utilize, is it something we can put in our plans? It's consulting. You don't tell people. Michael, you don't like to be told what to do. I don't like to be told what to do or what I have to give.
We
I don't
we
like
just
that.
talked about it in the last episode. We are getting told what to do.
Exactly. So why would we do it to other people? This isn't the government that's making data centers. These are fucking businesses.
Who do you think they're going to pay their taxes to? Probably getting government subsidies to build them. It's still
not
government
being
approval.
ordered by the government.
Still government approval.
But they have to consult with indigenous. Period. The end.
Which indigenous? All indigenous?
Wherever the land is. If it's in
No,
Treaty
no.
6, if it's in Treaty 7,
indigenous have been migratory. So if they might have started in
they got to
northern
consult
BC,
with all
they
of
might
them.
not
They got to
be in
consult
northern
with the
Ontario.
chiefs on the land that they are going to. Period. The end.
How do you
If
know
it is
whose
part
land
of
it is?
their land, then they have to consult with those chiefs that are part of those
Yeah, I
treaties.
think you should have to
period.
consult with every single one of them, just in case they migrated through there at some
Here's
point.
the thing. You could have a chief that says, absolutely, these are the deals to the royalties, blah, 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 blah. You're not going to have every chief that says no, but they still need a seat at that table and have the questions asked to them and be part of that conversation as to why it could or couldn't work for their people, their treaty. You can't just eliminate them from the process. You sound like
I'm saying
Danielle
if
Smith.
no one is there, no one has been
I
there
don't
for
care.
100 years.
It's not yours. I don't care. It's not yours.
That's dumb.
Period.
That's dumb. I totally
then you
disagree.
can have your
If no
opinion.
one's there,
Don't
no
care.
one's there.
Doesn't matter. Hey, the moose are there.
Well, you know
Right?
what?
The bears are there. Why are you being like that?
How much permission was given to build your house? Where you live now? How much permission did you get? When you bought that house, did you consult to make sure you bought that house to make sure it was free and clear of indigenous people?
Well, it already was.
Was it? You have a letter showing that the chief agreed to build that house, that now you can buy it? When does it stop?
Let me tell you something, Michael.
Yep.
If an indigenous treaty came to me and said all of these houses were built on treaty land and they were not provided to the government, and a builder came and took it from us because we weren't doing anything with it. It wasn't purchased from us. There wasn't an agreement. There was nothing. We're going to take ownership of your home. Would I be upset? Sure. I would ask them, can you give me something for my home so I can walk away because I paid into an investment?
And what if they say no, like they are in BC? What if they say no, like what's happening in BC right now? What if they just say no, it's ours now? You go, oh, well.
That's my due diligence. I fucked up. Should have paid attention.
Oh my God. Really? It's your fault?
It would be if this is actually treaty land that wasn't fucking cleared with anybody and a builder just came on and said, well, you're not using it, so fuck, here we go.
No, the government
It's
gave
my fault that I
permission,
didn't
but the
see that
government's not paying
documentation.
for it.
It's actually their fault. Shame on them for fucking taking something from somebody else and selling it to a bunch of people to build a profit. Like, fucking shame on them. So for me, you're not going to win on this one, because to me, I've seen so much oppression just in being me that you're not going to win. I'm not.
So what
my heels
about-
are firmly dug here.
Okay, so what about some of the Métis land that was stolen by the Iroquois? Should we give that back to the Métis people, or should we let it still stay the Iroquois? And just because, you know,
Those are
because it was all
those are
it was all
between
native,
two
so-
treaties that has to deal with them. That is their issue. You don't get involved with that.
but they're all Canadians.
But it's their
I don't know.
treaties.
I don't know. I mean, how far back in time do we need to go? And, you know, this is like a reparations
We don't need
discussion,
to go
which I'm
back
not
far in
interested
time. We need to just respect what's ours and what's not. We need to bring people to the table to consult with them to understand, is it something that we can move forward with, or we can't? You don't need to take it to all the things that have happened, because if we go there, the indigenous still fucking win. So at the end of the day, Michael, what's that?
Don't you think the answer will always be, yes, we don't want you to go there. We own it. We don't want you to go there unless you pay us. Regardless.
A white person acts like that. Give me a break.
That's what I'm just saying.
A black
Human
person acts
nature
like
is
that. A
still gonna make
Chinese
this
person
happen.
acts like that. People inherently want something. They don't want if you want something of theirs, they're not going to be like, oh yeah. When they know that they can probably benefit for their family or for themselves from it financially, of course they're going to say they want something. You want something? Well, everything's for sale. Just depends on the price. What's your price? You want indigenous land to build your fucking data centers? What are you willing to do for them? And you better make it good, because right now, Alberta's in a fight. And the premier has pissed them off exponentially. So if you want something from them, you better come with your fucking pen and paper and be ready to play ball.
I don't know. This is all reparations payments, and I think it's stupid.
And I understand that you feel that way.
Listen, nobody alive was really part of that. The hostile takeover.
I'm not saying they were. It doesn't negate the fact that there's still treaties that exist. Those deals were made well before us.
Right.
So if an agreement has been made well before us, from our grandparents, great-grandparents, whatever, and we're still holding those agreements, tried and true, that's the end of the story. So if nobody decided to amend the treaties at any point with the grandparents, great-grandparents, and all the tribal chiefs that have come and gone through the years, if they decided that they didn't want to change that, you're on treaty land. You better fucking consult with them, period. That's just my thought.
Sorry, I was getting a phone call there.
Did you get a phone call?
Yeah, I was getting a phone call.
Who's calling? Who's calling? Are you so popular?
The thing is, I don't know enough about treaties. I look at it as, if you go up in the middle of nowhere, no one's living, no one has documented ever really lived, which there's lots of places in Canada like that, because it's uninhabitable. Right? Like for like that. Right? I'm sure there would migratory things, stuff, migratory hunting. Okay, so what? It's just owned because you walked through it one time. Right? I don't know, and I'm not interested in playing the who owns what game. But it is, what's more importantly is that's available space rather than putting it right outside Edmonton. There's available space. Go use the available space.
There's so much space in Ontario. They should all be out there.
Well, you're colder the other way. If we go up, like even northern Manitoba,
no,
just go
North
colder.
Ontario is nice and cold.
It's colder, Lisa. Come on. And it's dry. The farther you go away from the water beds, it's going to be a drier cold.
Says the Ontario person to the fucking Albertan.
I know what dew points are.
We have very dry. We're very dry up here.
Very dry.
So
like
my point is that if you're so for data centers, that's great. Then you have, you know what, some of the most intelligent and well-established chiefs are all over, or riddled across all the provinces, but a lot of them, where I see a lot of professionals coming out of it, actually reside in Ontario.
I don't want to talk about the indigenous people.
Reside in Ontario. So you guys go build your data centers out there.
Agree to disagree. First time ever. Agree to disagree. I don't want to fucking talk about the natives. I don't care. We're talking about data centers. I don't fucking care.
We are talking about data centers.
I know, but I don't fucking care about the natives. I don't care. It's not my problem. It's not my issue. I'm talking about infrastructure. I don't care what the treaties are.
I'm talking about infrastructure too. It all plays a part.
But I don't fucking care. I don't
Okay.
care.
Well,
I literally have no
I
horse
will
in the
take
game.
your agree to
None.
disagree and we will move on.
It's the fundamentals of data centers,
Fine.
right?
Okay. So let's just say we get all this. Now we've also says community and economic effects, higher utility bills, limited local jobs, and land use pressures. Large footprint, change local landscape, and spark pushback from communities worried about the unmanaged growth. Dun dun dun. Limited local jobs. Once construction finishes, these highly automated buildings create very few permanent jobs.
Right.
And then upgrading power lines and substations to feed data centers often lead to higher electricity costs for nearby residents. So I agree, it shouldn't be anywhere near, metropolitan.
So again, if you did it
Metropolis.
outside a metropolitan area or a local community, make them required to build their own power generation.
Agreed.
You can build your own power generation. You can, again, cogen, trigen. You're making your own power. You're using closed loop water, so you're not using any of the fresh water. All of this stuff could be done. All you're doing is just running the wires from A to B into the infrastructure and done. Yes, it's short term for large amounts of construction workers, but it's an industry that is going to make life easier. I think if AI done correctly will make life easier. People are saying it's going to take jobs. I think it opens up opportunities to do whatever you want. Right.
Okay.
But that gets into a bigger conversation. But just for the data center itself is totally feasible, could easily be done, especially in Canada, because we do have the land space, we do have the cold air, and we don't have to subsidize it through tax dollars.
Okay.
So why are we doing it? Why are we
Well,
still
maybe you
subsidizing
should.
these
I'm
on the
just
right
thinking
things?
in my brain. I'm just like, maybe Michael should be the consultant on this for all these
I
big
know. You
rich
think I want to
guys.
work with the government? Hell no.
Oh, but you'd make
I'd
a
have
whole
to get one
bunch
of
of
those
money.
digital IDs to travel everywhere. That's a throwback to last episode in case you missed it.
Oh no, I got it. I was just taking a drink of my fucking good talk, bro.
Good dog. I don't know, just like you look at the amount of investment that's flowing into the United States because of data centers, right? Canada has an opportunity to do that. It's been said that we wanted to create our own AI infrastructure here. We wanted to sit on the global playing field. We can. We have the space. We have the cold air, right? Which is going to drop your cooling costs. The infrastructure, I mean, we're so heavily tied to the United States going across the border. I'm sure updating that infrastructure would be fairly rudimentary.
Fair.
So why not just do it? Why not make it enticing enough to come do it?
Excuse me.
Invite business in, but we don't seem to want to invite business in. We just want to invite how much taxes can we get from everybody that's here? We don't seem to want to grow anything that we have. We don't want to increase the Trans-Canada pipeline. We don't want to build more, pump, baby, pump, get that oil going, have our own refineries instead of relying on American pricing. We just don't
I
seem
don't
to
think
want to do
that's
it.
the case, though, Michael. I think a lot of it has to do with the political climate that happens because here's the thing, and this is what everyone needs to remember, that there were conservative politicians in place for our entire country that stopped refineries because that was on the docket to do refineries. And they stopped it because they're best friends with the states. And we figured we would just rely on the states' relationship, which has bit us in the ass. Really, it has bit us in the ass. So as far as I'm concerned, 90% of any real issue that's going on tends to stem from people that were once in power or that are currently in power that want to make all of these fucking ridiculous conditions and fucking deals and whatever. Some of them are beneficial, some of them are not. Do I think we should have oil refineries? 100% I think we should have had oil refineries. You know how much money our country would be making if we had our own fucking oil refineries? Jesus Christ. But people are like, oh, the pollution. Yes, there would be pollution. Absolutely. I'm sure there are ways we would find, because we have lots of very educated people in Canada, to find a way to reduce those emissions or to find a way to solve some of those issues and those environmental issues. So I don't buy that there's a whole bunch of reasons why we can't do things. I'm not saying completely no to data centers. What I'm saying is that when people don't want to go and sit at the table with all the people that matter, including government, okay, and everybody that matters, and there needs to be a town hall. If you're going to build close to a a metropolitan area, there needs to be a town hall where everybody can go and hear what they're going to say. And if they're talking kind of like you are, we're going to have a research system. We're going to do this. We're
Yep.
going to do that. We're going to try and keep this down. We're going to try and keep this isolated to this so that nothing impacts your grid. Great. Sounds great.
I think it should be 100-mile vote, and everybody for like 500 miles down water.
Mm-hmm.
Every one of those people should have a vote, because if they're going to be using fresh water, which a lot of these ones seem to be using, then just give everybody a vote. We know how to do votes.
Yep.
Assuming they're all good and real. Right? We know how to do votes. Right? We know how to do that in a democracy. So give people the right to make up their own decision for their neighborhoods.
Fair. And I'm not totally opposed to the idea of a data center. I'm opposed to some of the more problems it's going to bring. I'm not opposed to building into our infrastructure, creating a stronger electrical grid, I'm all for infrastructure inside of our different provinces. And we have so much land mass with barely any people. And I get that. So that's when people are immigrating, I'm like, why is everybody complaining? There's so much land. Like, they could just go further. You know what I mean?
Right. What's crazy?
I don't really, that's not the issue for me. It's how everything is done. There's so many fucking backdoor deals and handshakes, and fucking people are not paying attention, and they're poisoning water, and they're fucking the land. Like, if you have all the right people at the table that's consulting when it comes to this, and I'm not talking just government and indigenous and fucking the owners and fucking everyone getting a vote, but what about environmentalists? What about people that are paying attention to our land, to our infrastructure? Those professionals need to go. And not just like, oh, this is the honorable fucking guy for infrastructure. No. I don't want that guy to go. I want him with 3 other guys from across province that are sitting there that know the infrastructure world very well, and that are smart, and that will sit there and listen to everyone fucking talk and say, yes, this is doable. Yes, this is going to increase sales. Yes, this is going to be great for Canada, or absolutely not. These guys are assholes. They're going to try and hurt us more than they're going to help.
Yep. Well, I wonder whether or not for a data center, they've ever done an energy efficiency audit. So say, for example, like if you buy a furnace or an AC, there's always an energy efficiency audit.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's actually a full audit for a data center, like to actually say, like, here's the actual like efficiency that it's operating at.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, even though, like, so say, for example, it's got electricity coming in. What steps are they doing to mitigate the electricity? What steps are they doing to create their own electricity? What steps how much water are they actually using? Mm-hmm. Right? Like, all these type of things, like, how is that? I mean, I don't know. Like, like, I think the only thing I could find out, like, is a PUE on it.
Okay.
But that doesn't necessarily like argue efficiency, right? That's just the effectiveness of its power usage. Fair. But it's not the efficiency. Where the efficiency is really what it comes down to.
That's a great point. Maybe they need to do an audit of their efficiency. I agree with you. I think that's a great thing. And I understand that when you start building data centers, there's going to be you're going to trip.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, there's always going to be mistakes that you're like, okay, I can't do it that way. I got to do it this way. Where my issue lies with these people is that I think about all of the people in our neighbors to the south that have gone through this and gone through a lot of shit. And in my opinion, I shouldn't even say my opinion. I don't know. I don't have the answer to this. But when you figure out that these are not working out, or you're creating instability somewhere, what are you doing to rectify it? And at that point, has it compromised anybody's health? That's really comes down to it, because a lot of these big conglomerates, they will create an unstable situation that will impact the healthcare.
Yeah.
And they don't care. They know about it. And then they got all their shredders, don't let that see the fucking light of day, so.
Yeah, I mean, we're dealing with a lot of that old stuff. Like, I mean, like, there's a town not far from me called Elmira that still had its own water line brought in to Elmira, because they're still doing remediation from way back when they were making Agent Orange.
Oh, geez.
Right? Like, that's craziness. And it's a small town. It's not far. I mean, you can drive there in 20 minutes.
Yeah. But still, that's my point. Like, when you are impacting people, healthcare, economics, I stare at that and I'm like, what are you doing to stop all of the harsh impacts? Are you actually looking to help grow the infrastructure, the economy, what are you doing? Are you just there to make fucking money? Because if you're just there to make money and you don't give a shit about anybody else or anything else, in that country, because you can't tell me that the people that want to build data centers are Canadians.
Yeah, one of them, what's his name? O'Leary. Kevin
He
O'Leary.
is such a Trump lover.
I
He's a
listen, I like
traitor
Kevin
to
O'Leary. I've
Canada.
met him a couple times.
Fuck
He's a
that
really nice
guy.
guy. Plays a mean guitar and loves really good wine. Red wine, mostly.
Harvard jokes on it.
Nice guy.
I don't give a fuck.
Listen,
He could be the nicest guy in the world, but the minute you're against your own people is not something I'm prepared to deal
it's not
with
against
very
his
well.
own
I don't
people. But anyways,
tolerate that.
that goes down a rabbit hole. Again, not part of this
Yep, we're
discussion.
gonna leave it alone, Michael, because I'm gonna make you
Yep.
all upset and get in your feelings.
So, but just like I just keep thinking back to data centers, and because of where we live in Canada. So say actually, oh my God, this is a genius idea. So let's look at northern Canada, right? Where
Okay.
food prices are astronomical, especially produce and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Crazy prices.
I know.
So if you put data centers up there,
Mm-hmm.
if you use the cold water idea, right? So again, closed loop, cold water, salt water, whatever you want it to be,
Yep.
actually piped it in. Instead of rejecting the heat back to open air, take the heat rejection in a trigen system or a greenhouse system,
Mm-hmm.
thus creating jobs in a greenhouse environment to actually feed northern Canada at reasonable prices.
Ooh, that's actually really clever. That's actually really clever because I'll
That
tell
could
you,
also supply hot water up there. So instead of having to make hot water, the hot water is a byproduct.
is the water safe though?
Yeah, it's all through heat exchanger, right? So never the Twix shall mix.
Okay. And
Right? You
see,
use it
this
for
is
snow
why they should have you
melting.
as a consultant there, Michael. You got all
You could
these
also
great
use it for
ideas.
lumber and agricultural drying. So you could do it in northern BC, right? On the inland side. These are all things where like everybody just thinks, use this, make this. Okay, with all the leftovers, what are you doing with the leftovers? All you would have to do is add another pump, another heat exchanger, right? Like it's not a whole heck of a lot of work. Like the problem is a lot of people don't understand hydronics, right? They just understand heating and cooling, right? Like refrigerators, right? The fact that the furnace hasn't really changed and AC hasn't really changed is stupid.
That's fair.
One day
I
I'll
think
show
it's a
you
great
my
point.
design where you can use an ammonia system with just a Faraday, or not a Faraday, a lens to actually focus on a bulb and use ammonia to actually create a cool coil and just put a fan behind it and you can cool your whole house on a closed loop system. Just the cost of running a fan. No electricity, zero.
Okay. I love that.
There's all these really cool systems that just people have forgotten over time.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. You know
But yeah,
what?
imagine being able to feed the North. Crazy.
So I love that. And that's where we're going to end today because you came up with a very profound thing to say where I could 100% get behind a data center because it's got so many purposes at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you. Everybody's mind can be changed with the right information and possibilities. And possibilities are a wonderful thing. Listen to you. Depends on the person, right? So
actually, here, just to drop in there, when you build a condo, you have to build a park or you have to build something else, something sustainable to go behind a condo building, right? Why not just make the same rule for a data center with what we just talked about?
not all condos have to be built with.
But I'm just saying, like, if you can have these rules, you could have these rules for data centers.
100%. Agreed. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll catch you on the flip side and don't do anything crazy.